the street as I go by. And it doesn't even matter to me where I go. I just feel I need to take a ride. Got my coffee cup to go, and I'm gonna hit the road tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome in, guys. As you can see, I'm in the Van Life Voyages studio. As you can see, there's a wheel behind me with a bunch of names on it. So we're going to do that. Just let me know about the audio. Is this too loud? Is it cracking? Is it doing anything weird besides my voice? We all know that's going to be weird in the morning. So if you could let me know if it's too loud, or I can push it away, or I don't know if I even have this mic set up right, you know, technology. Anyway, let's see who's in the chat. We're going to get to the point of today's video, which is fire season. I have a couple of videos for you guys I think you'll really enjoy. We had a fire very close to our house. Our kids got evacuated. And anyway, I want to touch on that. Derek, it will not be joining us today because it's Monday morning. And since Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he has helpers from the VA come to do, we call it wheelchair stuff, to do stuff with him. So we will be going live with Derek probably next week, sometime in the evening. Anyway, so we'll set that up. But for today, it's just me and my coffee, you know, the coffee chat. And look, Lake Life. I got Lake Life hat on and spirited, because we all know we are spirited around here. So got to have some coffee. So I'm going to pour my cream in like I usually do. Look at that. I didn't even, I don't measure anymore, and I get it pretty exact. That's funny. This one today we're doing caramel. It's just a caramel latte, basic caramel latte. But if you don't know me, I'm Tanya. I'm one half of Van Life Voyages. We do van life and we talk about outdoor living and its importance in especially people that have disabilities and chronic illness, because being outside is very healing. As we saw with the pandemic, vitamin D, fresh air was the way to go. So it's been very healing to me as somebody with multiple chronic illnesses, and Derek as well, as being in a wheelchair. So that's what we do here. But today we're not outside in the van somewhere. We are in base camp, which is basically our home. And this is the YouTube Van Life Voyages studio we're in basically right now. So let's greet some people before we get, I'm going to let some people come in before I show the videos of the fire stuff. I know Lily was Lily's showing the first one in the house today, but actually it was Lori. Lori came in last night, but her comment disappeared, as it sometimes does. So between Evening Shade Lori and Lily, they are first in the house today. These two, this one's Lily and this one, Evening Shade Lori Lynn. So let me get a drink of coffee. I did have some coffee earlier, but my voice is still messed up, as you can tell. I'm going to get that mustache. I'm going to get that foam mustache. Oh, well, it is what it is. I also have some other videos queued up from my cruise with my daughter. And the reason for that is it's her birthday today. So Miss Caitlin, our youngest, is 26. Holy cow. I can't even get over that. That's crazy. Anyway, I got some videos to show you guys of her and I on our cruise last year, which we took together. We're like besties. She's the only girl and she's the baby. And Bax Van D's in the house. Welcome, D. Lots of people. Let's see. We got some members here too. Let me see what I have in the members section. I'm just looking through the little things I've made, the tabs. because there's new members that came in during the week as well. So I'm just seeing how many I have queued up here. I know I have Box Van D's right here. So let's show D. It might take me a second to find them because there's a lot now. I try to make them, but who knows? It's going to be depend on how many I can actually make and fit on the StreamYard chat. It might get too many members where I can't make them anymore, but I'll do the best I can. We also, I see Georgianne and Jeffrey Johnson in the house. Welcome, guys. Ringo and Czar. So many of you. I can't even. Oh, Ava. Yeah, Ava's a new member. I have one for her. Let me find Ava's real quick, and then we'll get going. Just letting people kind of flow in right now. Here's Ava's. So yeah, there's different ones. I had to make a couple new ones for new members. So if they come in, we'll welcome them as well. So welcome, welcome. There was a couple of new members that came in on videos. So that's kind of cool. Let's see if there's anything. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat as well. I'll try to get to them. Okay, so there's a buzz every now and again. That's the feedback then. I forgot which side adjusts the feedback, so let's turn it down a little bit. Let's see. Hello, hello. It's showing a green light, so it's showing it's supposed to be good, but maybe I'm too close to it. That's the feedback. Yeah, so Caitlin right now, she's been here. She was here for the week, so that was kind of nice to have my daughter here. And then she got my sister, my little sister, who is in her 30s. We're 15, almost 16 years apart, me and my little sister. So as a teenager when she was born, she took Caitlin to a concert of Zach Bryan, I think his name is, in LA. So they're staying in LA right now. And then she's flying back today to Seattle, my daughter. She works for Nordstrom. She's a buyer, assistant buyer at Nordstrom. So she has a corporate job, but so she's back to Seattle today sometime. Ivan K's in the house. Welcome. Okay, now that we're how many minutes in? Okay, 10 minutes in. I'll start getting to the subject matter. Oh, I told you, Derek, we'll do a live with Derek and next week sometime in the afternoon, early evening. Probably early evening in California will be after dinner for a lot of you. So it'll be before dinner here, after dinner there. Okay. That's how we'll do it. And Derek gets crazy. So it'll be a fun one for sure. And we're going to do some other subjects for our live streams. Like we're going to do some reaction to some of our first videos. I think that'll be fun with you guys, where you guys can see like just how bad we were at the beginning and just how funny those videos are to rewatch. They're crazy. They're so crazy. We had no audio. Derek was saying crazy stuff as usual. We had no skills whatsoever. Didn't even know how to film. It was great. So those will be funny to react to. And then I'm looking at my notes. Oh, that we did have a video come out this last week. And then we're going to show you some milestones we did. But let's get to the videos on the fire. So I'm going to put up one that I just put together. It's just a short, basically, to show you guys how close the fire was. And then we're going to get to a fire about our Kernville hell attack, which is amazing. I think you guys will really enjoy it. It shows the history and who was fighting these fires. We actually got to see them land in one part of the video. You're going to see this helicopter landing in the fire, because I actually got to film that. It's very short part of the video, so you have to pay attention. But when the helicopters lands, you can see that's the Kernville Hell Attack firefighting unit. So anyway, I'm going to show this video really quick that I took, and it's just a short one. Here we go. Recently had a wildfire that you will see was fairly close to our house in the Bodfish Canyon area of Lake Isabella. The kids had to be evacuated to our house with the grandkids, and this is our house, and it's showing the mountain behind our house, and you can see all the smoke and everything. That's our flagpole. There's the van, and look right there, all the smoldering and everything is where the fire was. So not that far away. And here's one of the helicopters getting water from the lake. And then one of the bomber planes putting out the chemical to put the fire out, as you can see up there in the pink. So this is as it was being put out. They had it out within 3 hours, which was remarkable. And you can see it's completely out now. No houses were lost or anything. They did an amazing job. Yeah, there were no homes lost, which is crazy. And they literally, okay, that I guess I could show another video, I think, of the full part of them landing, because it was just really brief. But I have the full video of them in, like, I was driving to drop my daughter off in Bakersfield, which is up that windy road you guys have seen on the last video, the one where there's always crashes and fires. So I was driving and I had to pull off, and we were filming. We saw the fire before there were any response, like there. So we got to see the hell attack helicopter land, and that's the first firefighters on the scene. And then we drove to Bakersfield. By the time we got back, our kids, I dropped Caitlin off at her dad's, and then Derek and I were Derek's son, so I call them our kids, but Derek's son was in that canyon where that fire was. So they got evacuated. So at our house was our one of the sons and his wife and the 2 grandkids and their 3 dogs. So it was quite the, that was on Friday. So it was quite, people were here, but they got to go home within 3 hours, which is crazy for that big of a fire. That's how quick they got it out. But when we were driving to Bakersfield up that windy road, we were passing tons of other firefighters from other units, like right close by is Tulare County, Visalia. Like, all these firefighters were coming from everywhere because they thought they were going to be needed for much longer. But they responded so quickly, and there was a lot of houses there, and they got it out. No loss of houses, nothing. That huge fire out in 3 hours. It was nuts. So I'm going to show you a video about the history of our fire response in this area, and it's very interesting. So I wanted to make sure as many of you were in here as possible when I show this video, because it's really good. Yeah, let me show this comment really quick. Kudos to the firefighters for getting control of the fire. Do they know how it started? They don't ever know hardly in these wildfires, because that's why California is a mess as far as firefighting, and the reason why we can't even insure our houses here. It's so bad that most people can't find fire insurance that the state had to make their own, basically. So most people that can't afford fire insurance, and you have to be turned down and show a letter, the state basically has a policy that they cover. That's how bad it is. But most of the time we have a lot of wind too. So it'll be, some spark or somebody throwing a cigarette, or people even being careless with their chains on their, when they're towing and it sparks, it hits the ground and it can spark. So that happens. Like, it's crazy around here. But there's so many wildfires in California because they have not kept the brush and the forest, all the leaves and everything that falls and turns brown. They stopped doing that prevention years ago. So there's not very good fire prevention here. and it's a long story, you know, conservationists, et cetera, et cetera. So let me show you this. Welcome in right now, guys. You're just in time for this awesome video. And the reason I'm so proud of this team is it's very unusual to have female forest firefighters, and the Kernville Hell Attack is half women, and they are amazing. So I wanted to show you this. As you'll see the stats, because this guy that's in the video, the reporter, he's our local reporter for this area. But the TV station, 23 News, is out of Bakersfield, but he's our local reporter. So you're going to see that right now. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to try to share the screen, and hopefully it works out. Here we go. Hold on, I just need to move this up. Yeah. Okay, so this guy's name's Corey, and he's our local. Okay, here we go.
Trying to fight fires in a helicopter. But for the Kernville Helitack crew, that's just business as usual. In Kernville, I'm Corey O'Leary, your neighborhood reporter.
I was always told as you're growing up, if you want to stay here, you need to become in the medical field, become a firefighter, become a teacher. Like those are the good paying jobs. And I remember hearing that. I'm like, oh, I think I want to be a teacher.
Lynn Correa, captain of the Kernville Helitack crew, grew up in the Kern River Valley, and to pay for school, she joined the Forest Service as a seasonal firefighter. At 18, Correa was given a crash course on the intensity of wildland firefighting.
I specifically remember being on a fire that we had in Bodfish. It was called the Deer Fire, and they were losing structures. And it was my first exposure to all this stuff going on. And my eyes were like, oh my goodness, like what did I get myself into?
Facing the inferno, Correa persisted and ended up choosing firefighting as her career.
My friend told me about the California Conservation Corps. They actually had a firefighter training coming up. It was 2 weeks. It was super hard, but it was the most rewarding thing I had ever done, and I was hooked.
Alexandria Bender is a firefighter for the U.S. Forest Service, where she started as an apprentice.
When I got the apprenticeship, I was able to work on the helicopter module.
The module, which is a term used to define teams within the Forest Service, was Kernville Helitack, an elite and specialized crew of firefighters trained to perform initial attacks. They start their day with physical training.
You'll be pushed to the limits.
The engines, they have their engine. The hotshot crews, they have their buggies. We have a helicopter. That's what takes us to the fire.
The helicopter arrives in May, the beginning of the fire season.
Yeah, we're ready.
The crew has to be ready at all times. 3 beeps on the radio signify a potential dispatch.
Every time we get the 3 beeps, I get butterflies in my stomach still to this day.
Speed is key.
When we get the call, we have to be out to the helicopter in under 5 minutes.
I don't really get nervous anymore. I have a job to do.
We are usually the first ones on scene because we're in the aircraft and we can get there quicker. We land, we very quickly take everything off the helicopter.
We put a bucket on the helicopter.
The bucket is a 210-gallon capacity apparatus set up by the firefighters and used to drop water on the fire.
When we open up doors and start deploying our gear and the bucket, it's about 2 minutes.
Very cool.
The crew is close-knit and moves as a unit.
They become your family, they become your team.
And you rely on everyone and they rely on you. I just like it. I think it's fun.
Normally, the firefighters would be cutting line when the helicopter was dropping water, but during this initial attack drill, they watched as the pilot used the bucket. Kernville Helitack can be traced back to the 1970s, and pictures of various crews over the years adorn the halls. These past few years, this team has looked different.
Half my module is women, which is kind of out of the norm.
5 of 11 members of Helitack this year are women. The U.S. Forest Service currently employs roughly 10,000 firefighters nationwide, and only 13% of them are women.
Definitely had a couple of mixed experiences, like being a woman in a male-dominated field. You have to be confident in yourself, because if you're not confident in yourself, other people can see it and know that this is my place, this is where I'm at.
1 in 3 male firefighters are estimated to be in a supervisor position. For women, that number is just 1 in 8.
I had a really good mentorship and really good leadership throughout my career of people that believed in me, pushed me, and challenged me in becoming a better version of myself.
Now a captain on an elite team, Correa hopes to help and inspire others like her mentors did for her, speaking with her community about her job.
They don't really know what we do, and they go, oh, that just looks too intense, or that looks too hard. But then they see people like me and they're like, you do fire? I'm like, yeah, I do fire. I fight fire on the helicopter.
Don't think that it's unattainable. Don't think that it's something that's out of your reach. This job, it is challenging, but it's super rewarding.
Bender remembering advice she received from a female firefighter during her first season.
She said, what separates a good from a great firefighter is character and competency.
Correa and Bender have plenty of both. They've been able to not only succeed, but excel as firefighters.
At the end of the day, like you feel like you accomplished something.
I do feel like I have a sense of purpose. While
Look
I'm
at all
helping
those women
people,
right
I can
there.
help
They're
nature too at the
amazing.
same time.
They serve as examples of the literal and figurative heights female firefighters can achieve in the Forest Service.
People usually say firemen. They don't say firefighter. And so I think changing the vernacular and having the representation out there like myself, you know, and letting young girls know that it's not a fireman, it's a firefighter.
Corey O'Leary, 23 ABC News.
Pretty cool. Anyway, is that not cool? I thought it was really cool that they did it it was right before this last fire that they put this video out, literally a few days. And then I got to see the helicopter land after I'd seen this video. That's why I'm showing it. And then now I know who's in that helicopter that's getting the water out of the lake. And you can see them going back and forth, putting the water on the fire, and it's amazing to watch. And they do a lot of training, so you can just be like, when Dee and I were camping, we got to see them going back and forth. Sometimes you think, you're like, is there a fire? No, they're just training, but it's very cool to watch. Yeah, because they just dip down into the lake with that bucket, they get back, you know, in the sky, they go to the fire, they dump, and but they're the very first ones on the scene because they're in the helicopter. And so there's 11 total of these heli-tac, and they're on call like all the time. So there's some at the fire unit around the clock. So, but 5 out of 11 are women this year. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool. So anyway, I think that was like something I wanted to show you guys because it was just like, wow. And we have already had like so many fires in the canyon. So, you know, I've shown videos on that. Our last video, let me put the thumbnail up, showed several fires in the Kern Canyon. So I wanted, let's see, this is our last, the thumbnail to our last video. And part of it talked about, you know, you have to be ready for anything on the road. And one of the things that I had to be ready for and I, you know, rerouting because of fires and wrecks, which is huge up here. So I wanted to cover the fire part because it was in our last video, a fire right next to the road that I went through. And then now this fire, you know, in the mountain right behind our house. And then my aunt, her property, they owned 40 acres, like way out of town, like outskirts. And they lost almost all their land. I mean, they got a payout from the state, from insurance or whatever, because they lost, you know, they didn't lose the main structure, but they'd lost their RV. Their RV that was on their land got burned up, and most of their land got burned up. Anyway, that was a devastating fire that they were talking about. They lost a lot of homes and stuff. So they're really training. So yeah. Yes, Georgianne, it was bad. It was really low. It's really high this year. The river, Kern River, which is very kind of deadly because people don't obey the rules and they just jump in. You know, it's just, they don't do water safety a lot and people get drunk and careless. So there's a lot of drownings in the Kern River. Anyway, it's very high. So it's probably going to be one of those years, unfortunately. So yeah, we have fire crews stand by at our local airport. Yeah, it's super dry. And because here it's forest around us, because we're in the Sequoia National Forest where Lake Isabella is it's like in this little, I guess I call it valley or something, and then surrounded by mountains. So every way in and out of here is through a mountain range. So that's why we're just surrounded by mountains, even though it's kind of deserty at the base where we're at, not as many trees, but the whole mountain surrounding us is forest basically. So we have dryness, desert-like conditions down where we're at, but at the same, and it gets very hot, but at the same time, we're surrounded by forest. So it's crazy. Oh, how many days? We don't get, where our particular house is located, we don't get displaced very often, but there's a lot of other outlying people around the mountains that do. It's the people that live in the mountainy areas that get displaced. And I don't know. I mean, all I know is if you look at California, the wildfires are crazy every year. Not just our area, but a lot of the state. They stopped doing the maintenance on the forests. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that political talk because that's too much, but they used to do, controlled burns and stuff. We'll put it that way. And they stopped doing all the controlled burns and all that. So now nature does it. If they're not going to do the controlled burns, nature's going to do it. That's the way it is. But they didn't realize this, I guess. Oh, we did have a lot of rain. I don't know the totals, but it was a very rainy season. So, and we stayed green a lot longer. So right now it's finally, everything's drying out and turning really dry. But we had a longer spring because of all the rain. We had a lot of rain. We did. Yeah. I see there's a lot of accidents. The Kern Canyon is curvy, and you'll see in that video, if you watch that last video of ours, I showed 3 ways in and out of here. There's like 5 or 6 actual ways, but they're all through mountain ranges. So, and they're all curvy. So the one I showed where the fires were in the accident, the crash was in the Kern Canyon. That's what you're talking about. It's very windy. There's cliffs straight down. There's not a lot of, there's guardrails, but not everywhere. So if you go off, if somebody crosses you, because there's 2 lanes. So if somebody crosses into your lane, you can be pushed off the cliff into the river. It's nuts. And, or against the mountain. So and there's crazy drivers. We all know this. So, and then there's one called the Lions Trail, which is really curvy and going uphill like this. And then you get to the top and you come down, and then you're going real windy with switchbacks down. And I showed that road. And then I showed the desert way in where it is beautiful. You go through the 58 through Tehachapi, then you hit the 14, you go through Red Rock Canyon, and then you hit the 178 going west towards Lake Isabella, because there's 2 sections of 178. And anyway, that video shows 3 different ways in and out of this place. And they're beautiful. They're all beautiful. But it's just what you get for living in a beautiful area, I guess. And this has been traditionally been a really cheap area of the state, believe it or not, because it gets so hot in the summer. So you weigh that, because it gets over 100, but you have the water. So you have the river and the lake. So if it's over 100, because I can't, obviously I'm down there in the van a lot, I just jump in the lake. I mean, to me, it's nice. You're right there with water. So yeah, if you notice, as this clearly states, it's the West Coast. West Coast, the whole West Coast is fire haven. Yeah, let's see. Here's one. We have the same issues in our forest also. They stopped thinning decades ago, so devastating fires occur. Yeah, so now they've figured out, you're exactly right, Steve. So now they figured out, oh, look, the nature's going to do it. Oh, look, we're going to lose all of these houses. And oh, look, so they finally started rethinning again. But I remember back when I would visit Yosemite, like in the, I don't know, 20 or 30 years ago, there would be controlled burns. And now it's like you go and there's no control. They weren't doing the controlled burns or the, hiring people to rake, whatever, do the maintenance. fire boundaries. They stopped. I know, define cheap in California. Well, in this little valley, we call it the valley where we live, because there's no jobs, it's like it's perfect for retired people. But because the closest city is like an hour away driving, there's not a lot of jobs. I mean, there's restaurant jobs, there's a tiny itty bitty hospital. I mean, there's schools. So if you don't work for the schools or this tiny hospital, and even the sheriff's department is out of Bakersfield. So it's like, if you don't, you have to commute for a job through a windy road that's closed often, you'll see where that can be a challenge. So the jobs here are kind of scarce. So therefore, a lot of people are on assistance here. We'll put it that way. So if you're not retired and on your own retirement income, then people are on assistance. There's a lot of, it's not a wealthy area. We'll put it that way. There's also a lot of meth. We'll get it that way. There's a lot of drug abuse. So so that has drove down prices here, but because it's so beautiful and everywhere else there's no housing, like even here now, there's barely any rentals. And because the state doesn't evict people, it takes 9 months or more to get an eviction here, and people can squat and there's squatters' rights, people don't want to rent. So there's all that going on in the state as well. So it's kind of in a crisis, but now prices have been drove up. So now you can't rent anything like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. That'll be probably $1,200 a month here. But you can live at the lake for cheap. So if you're in an RV, and I'm going to do a video on it, you can camp for $6 a day on the lake with bathrooms, water, trash. It's like an LTVA, but it's called something else. I don't know. It's not an LTVA, but it's the same as an LTVA as far as amenities you get. Bathrooms, water, trash. $6 a day if you have a National Parks Pass and you're a senior or disabled, which we are. You can camp for $6 a day. For everybody else, it's $12 a day. But still, where can you live for that cheap on the lake with those amenities for real? So that's why it's like you can live in, and you just have to move, but you don't have to move miles like you do in other places. You can move down the beach or to the next area of the lake. Like you don't have to go 20 miles away. There's no rule like that. You do have to move every 14 days, but you can move close by. As long as you're paying, they don't care. So there's all that. So yeah, I did a video. I just haven't edited it yet about the amenities you get for the cheap to live on the lake if you want to live in an RV. Okay, so let's show my daughter and some of our fun on our cruise because it's her birthday. This one's funny. We're just singing on the cruise ship, and I'll probably maybe get dinged for this as far as it being music that's copyright. I don't know. We might not get a ding because we're singing so bad, but I don't care. So here we go. Funny, huh? Anyway, that she looks really young, but she's 25 there. So she's well within drinking age. And we're on a cruise. And then we go to, I think this is Puerto Vallarta when we were tequila tasting. We went into this rainforest on our excursion and we got a tequila tasting. So you guys get to see a couple of those. So here we go on some of our tequila tasting adventure.
One tequila.
One tequila.
Two tequilas.
Two tequilas.
Three tequilas.
Three tequilas.
Floor.
Salud! Here we go, Caleb. Oh, that was good. That was so good.
For like,
That was awesome.
ice cream.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Cappuccino.
They said 3 and then floor, not 4. And then here's what it looked like at the tequila tasting. Okay, here we go. I can't even get it right there. There you
You
go.
need to say salud.
Salud.
Dinero.
Dinero.
Amor.
Amor.
Tequila.
Tequila.
And salud.
Salud. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Who's me?
Here's chocolate.
This
chocolate.
good.
Oh my God.
And now the last one.
Mango. Mango is so
Mango
good. I
flavor.
brought mango.
You made micheladas with this one here.
Enchiladas,
Or
okay.
you can mix
So if you
it
come
with one
visit,
with the
you'll
operation
mango
meal
tequila.
and ice.
Oh, wow. Oh, heck yeah.
Last one.
The last shot.
Yeah, it's like a syrup.
Yeah. Pancakes and waffles.
It's the rainforest in Puerto
Okay, well,
Vallarta.
and now I'm saying this one is the last one. If you are ready, you need to say
Ready.
one,
One,
two, three. Tequila.
Tequila! Here we go! Salute! Salute! Take your
Best one.
Was it? They left save the best for last. Which was your favorite? Anyway, that's mini me. That's what I call her. Yeah, so her and I are like best friends. We talk like almost every day, even though she's in Seattle and stuff. She has a lot of the same health issues I do. So this was like a once in a lifetime. We'd never been able to travel anywhere. What we did was we got an off-season cheap cruise, and it was 7 days, and it went out of Long Beach, California, and it went, which where Derek happened to be at the time. He was in the hospital, but I couldn't do anything anyway because he was just hospitalized. So we got to visit. We boarded Sage because she's a member of PetSmart, is her veterinarian, and they have a pet hotel for the cruises and everything in Long Beach, and it's a bougie hotel. She had her own room. She got ice cream or pet ice cream and things every day. They have cameras so you can check in on your pet. It was very safe. Anyway, because she was a member there, I had like 50% off for the boarding. So I got the boarding for cheaper than it would have been to board anywhere else. I got to check up on her. And anyway, she got in trouble a little bit there. They did every day, like a kid in daycare charts. And at that time, she was only like 7 months old. So she was still wanting to play and wrestle and just be kind of rowdy. Now she's much better, but then she was a little rowdy. And so the older dogs would like be mad at her. So it was so funny. So they would say she started whatever issue. Anyway, it was funny, but we had a good time. We were there 7 days. It was like $200 and something each, ridiculously cheap. And because it was really hot. It was like August when we went, last August. So I have a lot of footage I never put out on that, but it was like a once in a lifetime trip. It won't be once in a lifetime because it's easy to save $200 and something each. So for real, it was one of those cheap cruises. We had an amazing blast. We did take some excursions when we got off the ship. And so there's other footage that is so much fun that was just a blast. Like it was during the hurricane or whatever out at the ocean. So one of our ports, Mazatlan, was canceled. So we only got to go to Cabo San Lucas and Puerto Vallarta, but we had a blast at both ports. Anyway, it was great. Yeah, it was so cheap. You can go, and because we're here a few hours, 4 hours from Long Beach, we didn't have to pay for transportation, no flights, no nothing. So, and I've never ever, which I'm going to do, I know. I don't know if you guys know this, so I'm going to tell you. I never got a passport because I want to hit all the U.S. territories first before I go abroad. Well, when they started making where you had to have a passport to go to Canada and Mexico, before you didn't, but now you do. But there's a caveat. If you're on a cruise that goes out of port and comes into port in the United States, like you're not getting off in a foreign country to stay, but if you're getting on and off the boat in a U.S. Port, then you only need a birth certificate and a form of ID. So of course I would get put to the side when we would try get back on the boat, or when we get up off the boat. Not off the boat. They don't care in Mexico. You can stay there. You can do whatever. But getting back on the boat, I would go to a different line, and they would have to check my birth certificate and ask me a few questions, and then I'd get back on the boat. So you do not have to have a passport to cruise, as long as you're getting on and off in the United States. So that's cool. So don't think, oh, I can't go on a cruise. I haven't got my passport. It's going to take months to get here. No, birth certificate and a ID, like a regular driver's license, is all I had. Yeah, I didn't want to get a passport. I've always wanted to hit the United States territories, like the Virgin Islands, see Hawaii. I haven't been there yet. Hit the 50 states. I just wanted to see the US before I go abroad. But now that Mexico is they want you to have a passport and all this. You can still do it with the birth certificate, but you could be stuck and, sit there in a line. In the line, it was easy though, because everybody else was in this big line and I was in this small line, and they would, border, whoever they are, they would ask me, well, why is your name different in your birth certificate? I said, that's my maiden name. Well, why is that your name hyphenated now and it's different? They asked me a few questions, and I'm like, I was married. I go, my kids have my same last name, so I wanted to hyphenate it when I married my new husband, Derek. So there you go. It's hyphenated now. And they were like, okay, get on the boat. It was that easy. Let's see. And it's like a blessing to you all to live in the area. Floor, I know. It's funny. We're not big. Both my daughter and I mean, I'm sure she drinks a little more than I because she's young, but I don't drink that often anymore. I mean, we did back in 2020. We had quite a few really funny live streams that were hilarious, drinking a little too much, but nowadays we don't. I mean, even Derek's we've calmed way down because it doesn't help our health conditions by any means. And in fact, like I used to like wine. Well, red wine, get the tannins or whatever, give me horrible migraines. So I can't do that. I can't mix my meds. So it's not often that I do that, but even those little tiny shots, believe me, they did not make you on the floor drunk at all. We got back in our thing. We got back on the boat. We weren't even feeling it. Like it was like, I mean, a little bit like a buzz, but we were not drunk by any means. At no point on that entire cruise did I get drunk ever. So I never had a hangover. It was great. We were just having fun. We didn't get the wristbands for the all you can drink cocktails either. So we had to pay for them. I did that on purpose because if you get those wristbands, you might overdrink, but because it's like free alcohol on the boat, like everywhere. So we didn't buy those. So you had to pay for your cocktails. So I did that on purpose because obviously if you have to pay whatever, $10 a cocktail, they were about $6, $6 to $10. So, I mean, if you spend $50 a day, that adds up. So we didn't do that. Anyway, yeah, I definitely want to see the U.S. and go to the, U.S. territories like the Virgin Islands. Have never been to Hawaii. Yeah, the old Love Boat ports, basically. Well, they were amazing. We got off there's a lot of footage. I'll put a video together. But we got off in Cabo San Lucas, and we got on one of those guys that ride you around on the bike. And so they took us to the best restaurant ever. And we got like the service we've never got in our life. I mean, ever, like here in the States. They bring you a purse rack. They hang your purse. They even made sure it was zipped so that nobody could steal anything. They waited on us hand and foot, basically. Because, I mean, that's how they make their money there. So it's not like here where, oh, I'm making a wage so I don't have to give you good service and I'm going to make the money anyway. It's not like that. They're like really need the money, the tips and stuff. So they treat you very good. And yeah, so they would take you to all the best places and stuff. And we just had a blast. But because of our issues, we can't walk anywhere. We both have pots, so it's not like we can walk in the heat. So we had to get transportation. Yeah, you got to have a budget for the drinking. It does take up money. I mean, if our cruise wasn't so cheap, we would definitely not been drinking, because the reason why we had money is because the cruise was so cheap. That's what they bank on, though. They make these cheap cruises because they know you're going to spend money, and especially on the alcohol. So if they give you a $200 cruise for a week, they know you're going to be spending money on that boat. Okay, so they bank on filling up those cabins for cheap so that you will spend money on the other stuff. So you just have to budget or don't drink, period. I drink mostly iced tea, so tea was free. Sodas were free. Everything was free as far as food. The buffets were free, and if you didn't go to a restaurant, we went to all the free stuff. So we were living large on the free, and so we did have a budget for some cocktails per day. It was fun. Yeah, it's a Mexican Riviera cruise. It's exactly what we went on. And oh my God, those entertainers that are on the boat, they're hilarious. They're so funny. I mean, we had so many nights of entertainment. I'd go to bed early though, because I'm old. My daughter's out there dancing it up with, we made another friend couple. Another girl, Caitlin's age, was there with her mother. So they're Persian or something. So the mom didn't speak that much English, but Caitlin made a friend for life. Okay. They're still buddies. And then when we went to Puerto Vallarta, in some other videos, you'll see them when I put them up, but it ended up being the four of us. We went together. And so it was fun. We ended up having a whole nother mother-daughter group, same age as Caitlin, same everything, except for they lived in California. And it was just fun. So Caitlin had a buddy. So she'd go out with that buddy at night to the whatever clubs are on that boat, have a good time, and I'd be in bed. There were no reception, like as far as live streaming, or we didn't pay for the stupid, there's a plan you can buy. It was so expensive. We're like, we'll be off grid. And as you can see, I didn't even put out that video yet, but we were off grid the whole time because we didn't want to pay for that. They get you every which way, but we didn't want to pay for that. We couldn't even check our email unless we got off port in Mexico. I did buy a plan for like off of US soil, and it was cheaper to do that than to buy the boat's plan. So that's what we did. Let's see what else is on the agenda and what time it is. Okay, we have 10 minutes. Let me get to some. Oh, I want to show you guys this. Sorry, I had to look at my notes. You know me, I get off track really, really quick. But this is I got to do the spin behind me. That's coming up. So don't leave if you want to know. If you know that one of your comments was reserved and shown, you're going to be on that wheel. $20 Amazon e-card is on this wheel right here behind me. So that's coming up in just a few minutes. So let me go to these couple of things that we've had in the last month. I just want to thank you guys. This is a thank you to you guys, because you guys are making this channel what it is, and even this live stream what it is. And the comments we have gotten brought me to tears. This week's comments is why we do what we do. Derek needed to see this because it's hard putting out videos when Derek's been in the hospital. It's hard on me emotionally to have my husband in the hospital and try to put out content. It's hard when I have my own health issues to keep everything going. It's hard. Oh, and we got good news on the van. I got the door fixed finally. So there's that. But anyway, it's hard to do what we do with all of our issues. So I wanted to show you a couple of our thank yous to give you guys, to show you what you guys have accomplished. Look at 600,000 views. 600,000 views, guys, in our small channel, because we have less than 7,000 subscribers. And then look at this. Look at May. Look what you guys have done. 87 shares, 162 comments, 903, almost 1,000 likes. Almost 1,000 likes. Look at the comments. Look at those shares. 87 people shared our content. That is amazing. That brought tears to my eyes. I was like, if somebody's willing to share your content, then they think it's valuable. So that's huge for me. Huge. And then let's get to some of these comments that brought tears to my eyes, because this is craziness right here. Can you hear me right now? I don't know if you can with this on, but I'm going to read it. Hello, my name is Tito. My boyfriend has been at the hospital going on 8 months now. It started in November with kidney problem where he is being treated at St. Joseph's in Burbank. He is now at the VA in Long Beach. That's where Derek was dealing with bed sores. He got at St. Joseph's. Thank you for the video, because everything that you are going through is what my boyfriend is going through right now. Flap surgeries, bone infections, and girdle stone surgery. Good days, bad days. He is also a paraplegic and is at the spinal cord injury center at the VA. I feel like you are both the only ones that understand. And that is why we do what we do. There's more to that message, but basically they found our video and they feel like that somebody relates to them. Somebody out there also has a story like them, that they're not alone. And so anyway, now they messaged Derek. Derek's in communication with them now. They exchange numbers through like Instagram Messenger or whatever. And so that way they can have some support. And then this message. Spent 5 months in the hospital 2 years ago with a pressure sore, flap surgery in Utah, then back to Idaho to finish antibiotics and healing. Was brutal, and you look a lot better than I did. Glad you're home, man. Enjoy the sunshine and take care of yourself. Wheelchair John in Idaho. Look at that. Those are people that found our videos online that now feel like they have somebody. We got another message, and I think it was the rest of this message, because you can't see it all. And I should have taken a picture of this rest of it. But believe it or not, the doctors there showed our video, which Derek didn't even tell them. We put out a video on the girdle stone, and they found our video on the girdle stone, the doctors showed the patient and their loved one. So now the doctors are recommending our video. Now that's the highest compliment, when doctors find and I'm a nurse, I'm an RN of 20 years. So when doctors feel the video is that valuable that they're going to show their patients, is the highest compliment to me as a nurse. So I did a lot of work on that video, his girdle stone, showing his procedure and stuff. And they like it so much that they're recommending it to their patients. I can't believe that. That really brought tears to my eyes. I was like, that means you're doing something valuable, even if you make zero money on YouTube. It's valuable to people. So I think that's super, super, super great that we're here, you know, that we didn't realize that the impact it would have just sharing wheelchair van life and going outdoors, and Derek developing the foundation, which he's working on right now to get that next grant out, because we have to do a fundraiser shortly to make the money back for the fall. We have enough now for a grant from all you guys. We have enough money in our account to give one more grant this summer, and then we'll have to do a fundraiser for the fall. That's how it goes. Every so many months we have to do fundraisers to get the money back, obviously, to give out another grant. So we're looking at getting more applications in so we can give out the grants that were supposed to be in the spring this summer. Just like we gave out an electric wheelchair that totally impacted somebody's life. So that's what we're working on. I know, just like you, Dee, we'll never know how many people we inspire if they don't leave comments. The comments are huge to me because it keeps me going. And when I was down and out, like when Derek's in the hospital, I didn't even know if I should continue making videos. Like I didn't feel like it was really helping, or I didn't know if it was. So I was like, am I putting all this time and effort into putting out these videos? And I don't know if they're inspiring anybody or what's going on. So the comments are huge when you get these kind of comments. Yeah, I feel like that is the highest compliment I could have got, was that they love the video and they're showing patience. And Derek did not go, hey guys, I'm making a video, blah, blah. No, he did not. He kept it on the down low, basically. He was like, he didn't know how much he should, you know, like obviously we tagged VA Long Beach in the thing. So when people look up VA Long Beach, I guess the video comes up, and spinal cord injury or flap surgery or girdle stone. Girdle stone's rare, but in this community with people in wheelchairs, because of bone infections and the pressure sores, it's more common. But they haven't done girdle stones on regular people since before they started doing hip replacements. So it's kind of rare. Let's see. Your inspiration and fortitude is rolling with it. What a great inspiration to me, and that's why I became a member. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing them, Sharon, and becoming a member. That's amazing. I couldn't believe when I saw all those shares. It like literally was, I was like this. I was like, what? Like, it doesn't tell you in your analytics who shared what. It does not tell you. You can't find that. So when I got that little how your account's doing, and I think you're going to see Desert Sage come in and say hi. Hi, everybody. I came to see my mom and say hi on the... Oh, somebody's getting into the laundry basket. Hold on one second, and I'm going to spin this wheel. So just hold on one second. I got to handle this little puppy dog. All right, come on. Up. Come on. Up. Okay. Here we are. This little angel decided, I'm going to jump up on where mom had the laundry basket and I'm going to get into it because that's what I do as a beagle baby. Anyway, she does have her own channel and I had to stop making content even though her channel was doing amazing. I had to, put my eggs in one basket when my energy was what it is. So I had to, stop doing her channel because I had to concentrate on this channel when Derek was gone. So there'll be more content of this one on her own channel. But what are you doing? She wants to get into trouble. So anyway, let's do this spin because let me check the comments and then we'll do this spin. Oh, now she's in the trash can. Yeah, sometimes I feel that way too, Tanya. I wonder if I still inspire people. You definitely do. You have a lot of comments. So these comments are always good and inspirational. If you hear rattling around, she found it something to play with and she's like knocking it all over the place. Yes, you guys know there's a lot of you that are on her page and you see that I haven't put out videos in a while. So I have to get ramping back up on her page because probably the algorithm will be mad and won't show it to anybody. But anyway, whatever. But I had to put, like I said, I had to concentrate on just one channel instead of the two when I was barely surviving. Sage, stop. I'll get you a ball in a second. Yeah, let me put her. Let me go over here and put her. Come on. It's a barn door, so I have to put a baby gate. It's a barn door, so I have to put a baby gate when she's frisky like this. She just wants me to play with her, and so I'll get off of here and play ball because she probably got bored chasing all the critters out there. It's funny, when we're in the van, she's an angel. She is the best van life dog you've ever seen. We get here at base camp, she thinks she's all of a sudden a tornado, like everywhere, running and playing and jumping and into everything like a kid. I have so much content on this dog that I have not put out that are going on her channel. You won't believe. She's got the personality that's crazy. Anyway, let's do this. Let's see who's on the wheel, guys. Who's on the wheel? Keep commenting on the videos because you'll be chosen randomly. This month, we have Miss Tuppy, Becky Allen, Melissa Blevins, Mega Van Mike, Pamela Klemp, Betsy Lackey, Beth, Amanda from Sharon, you're on it, Sharon Spivey, and Lucretia, okay? So they're all on, there's 10 spots. So every month, there'll be 10 people on the wheel from your comments, and they're randomly chosen comments. And so you can win every month. I mean, possibly. It's a 10% chance. So here we go. Ready? And it's the old-fashioned wheel from 2020. Oh, that's awesome. It's Becky Allen, one of our longest members. Yay, Becky. Let me put up her little... Becky has donated to the foundation and has been with our channel since the very beginning. Let me put up Becky's. Here's Becky. channel member little video. And no, you do not have to be a member to win, but if you're in this chat, you're a subscriber. So, and not always are the comments, I don't know if they're subscribers or not, because you can hide your subscribers. So people in the comments, they may not be subscribers. I don't know, but hopefully they are. Anyway, do you guys know if Roy and Becky are going live? I did not see a post for them this morning. Oh, I think they did put up they weren't going live today. So I don't think Roy and Becky are live today. So anyway, so if I go over a minute or two, it won't be that big a deal. We did that. Oh, upcoming videos. Yeah, congrats, Becky. Oh, okay, Marianne, thank you for coming by. And Marianne's a good supporter as well, always commenting on our videos. We appreciate it so much. Thanks for coming, especially on your lunch break. I have so many. Okay, I finally organized all of my videos. I had to get a second. I'll show you guys since I don't think they're going live, so I'm not impeding on anybody. I got a new. This is a external hard drive. So this is my second one. My first external hard drive, I think they're only 2 terabytes. They're not the really big ones, but I organized the first year's 20 to 2023, all videos, all footage. I keep it because you never know when you might need it. And I keep it for myself. I don't want it on some cloud in case, whatever, it crashes or you stop. I'm just paranoid like that. So I let me see back here. So I have my first hard drive. This carries 2, but the first external hard drive from videos 20 through year 2023 is here. And now I have videos 2024 to however long this 2 terabytes is used up. So anyway, I finally organized all my files and everything. So now I know exactly how many videos I have to edit, and there's a ton. There's a ton. Like I said, there's, the cruise, and the cruise video is not just having fun. The cruise video is about, also I was scoping it out for Derek because he'd never been on a cruise in a wheelchair, and he wanted to know how he would get off the boat. Would he be able to go on any excursions? What they would do? What if he needs medical care? Like I needed to investigate the wheelchair friendliness of the cruise boat and what exactly he'd be able to do. So that's kind of what we were doing. Caitlin and I were having fun, but we also were looking at wheelchair accessibility issues. So the video will be on both. And then hopefully this next year, if Derek stays out of the hospital for our anniversary this next year, we will go on a cruise and we will show all the accessibility stuff about a cruise. So anyway, that's basically, I'm just going to do an overview of what we found out on the boat, and it'll show Caitlin and I having fun and stuff like that. Because I'd never been on a cruise in my life either. I was 51 at the time, 51 at the time, and I'd never been on a cruise. So that was my first cruise with my daughter, and we were looking at stuff for Derek. So, and let me put this up. Shut this down soon. Tanya, thanks for everything you and Derek do to motivate, inspire, and touch more lives than you could ever imagine. Thank you for that, Sharon. Your comments always keep me going, because there were times when I was very much like, I don't know if it's impacting anybody. So I definitely was like, we're not in it for the money, but it helps the foundation if we do make money. So we try to we donate our own time. There's no money that we take from the foundation at all. So we were like, if we're not making money and people don't really care, then why should we do this? It's a lot of time, but now that we know it impacts people, we just keep going. So we're so happy for you guys, that you guys actually are inspired, and that you do, obviously find it motivating, inspiring. And we do have videos coming up on Fisher House, which I've taken extra time to make because I want that video to be great, because it's also about the VA Long Beach. It's about their Fisher House and my stay there. Well, Derek was going through 2 days of surgery. So that's an amazing program that I wanted to make sure it's a well done video. So I'm not rushing that one. Even though he's now home, it'll show him while he's still in the hospital. So don't think he's back in the hospital. I'll tell you that. And then there's a garden update video. People have been asking about the garden. The garden is doing great. And I have a lot of footage to show you guys of stages of the garden, which is a wheelchair friendly garden. And Derek's back to gardening and watering and doing his thing because he loves gardening. And then our Airbnb, the wheelchair friendly Airbnb, we don't know what we're going to call it yet, but it's under construction. We came and finalized the plans. The county is doing the permits right now, and we don't see any problem. Like, they're going to approve it. And luckily, because it's a fire rehab, we don't have to do the stupid. Okay, in January, California passed where you have to have an electric vehicle hookup. You have to have sprinklers in your house, I guess because of the wildfires, and some other stupid stuff that you have to pay for when you do a new construction. We don't have to do that. Woohoo! And so I'm so excited because we will be the only wheelchair friendly Airbnb. We have a fire pit area. We have an RV spot long, so most RVs can fit there with it won't be 50, it'll be 30 amp hookup and water. So there'll be a place for people to come in both wheelchairs and out, and a fire pit area. We have big gates that close between the properties. So when there's people over there, we just close the big gates. It's fenced for pets. It is going to be great to be able to have guests, and it's only a couple miles from the lake we're at. So it's, and shopping, we're close. So that'll be good. We have a lot going on. So a lot of content coming your way. I am going to take a trip this summer to visit my daughter in Seattle. So there'll be a lot of stealth camping videos coming your way. I don't think Derek will take this trip, but we're gearing up with different wheelchairs, and we're putting an assist on the van eventually to assist Derek in and out of bed. So he will do more traveling as well. So anyway, have a great day, guys. We will see you. I will be back next Monday. Derek will be back next week with some kind of live stream. Look for that, where it'll be the both of us. It'll be in the late afternoon, early evening, so other people can come, because there's a lot of people that can't come to the morning. So see you guys. Love you guys. Bye.